So in this talk, I will talk about modern workflows with open source synthetic data, a way how teams can freely use data without running into privacy concerns. I will unpack what synthetic data actually is, how it protects privacy, and how open source tools make it easier than ever to integrate it into the development workflows. I forgot my clicker, so yeah. So you do not have to take my word for it. I know I am a researcher at mostly AI company, which is a synthetic data company, and we tend to say that the synthetic data is the next big topic. But you can trust NVIDIA. NVIDIA spent a fortune to acquire a synthetic data company this year. Unfortunately, it was not ours, it was our competitor, but this move says a lot, right? It says synthetic data is a topic. Even Elon Musk talked about it, and it is on his radar. He refers to slightly different types of synthetic data, but I will try to make it clear what privacy-preserving synthetic data is. So what's the situation on the market? There is a huge demand for data. Anyone, like companies, researchers, they want to get insights from data, they want to drive innovation, use it to build AI models. But at the same time, there is regulation. There are ethics and risk with the privacy. What I'm talking about is sensitive data. Imagine healthcare, finance. I can imagine that you would not be happy if your personal medical data or your bank transaction history would be used freely by other people. And that's why the regulation comes in, and that's why there is this restriction. So if you work with the sensitive data, what you would do in order to protect the sensitive information? Anyone have any idea what to do? Fake data, yes, exactly. This will be the talk about. That's true. But like normally, when I ask this question, people says, yeah, so I can remove the sensitive information from data, right? If there is a name, there is an ID number, I can simply remove it. It will be safe again. But yeah, as you can expect, that's not enough. If you remove it, you remove the you remove the direct identifiers of the person, but there will be quasi-identifiers, basically the piece of information, then you can connect together and you reveal the person. So for example, 60% of the US population can be identifiable by combining the gender, date of birth and zip code. And what is even crazier from my point of view is that 80% of data subjects are re-identified by only 3 transactions, and only when the merchant and date of transaction is revealed. So that's like an example that this is simply not enough. And this is something what you encounter with classical anonymization techniques. You can either do classification right, so your data will be really private, you will mask it, but the usefulness of such data is low, right? Or you can reveal some information, but you will come into the risk that the sensitive information will be re-identified. And this re-identification risk is real, is happening. Companies use the sensitive data in the productions, there are data breaches, or they share the anonymized data. They think, yes, we anonymize it, we mask it, we did some hashing, whatever, so it's okay. But unfortunately, this is not true in the era of big data, because there are situations where you can easily combine your so-called anonymized data with some public information. And when you link the anonymized data with this public information, you can suddenly reveal people, which was happening. One of the examples, it's a little bit old already, but when I joined mostly AI 5 years ago, it was an affair with the Avast subsidiary here in the Czech Republic when the privacy concern was revealed and there was an issue and they shut down the company basically overnight. So that was the motivation for the synthetic data. It was like the first attempts were created when the GDPR comes or was expected to come in 2018. And people said, okay, so like we need to use data, but we need to protect privacy of people. So let's do it differently. So they said, okay, we don't need to use the personal data, we can use fake data, as you correctly said. And there are like a lot of ways for fake data or synthetic data. You can imagine there can be random data, private, but far away from perfect. Self-generated data, better, you can recognize face, but scalability, quality, I don't think you would be happy with it. There are rules-generated data, you can have the collection of nose, mouth, you can put it into the face. Yeah, uniqueness, again, not great. But as you can expect, AI came into the place, or in general, the AI-generated data. So how it works, because like this person was not part of the training data. It is created from scratch. It is not related to any person in the world. So you have actual data. This data is privacy restricted, incomplete, whatever. You train your generative model on this. And once you learn the characteristics of your data, you can then create fake data, synthetic data, completely from scratch. They are newly generated, not connected to your real data. And this data can then be freely shared to the people or can be used for the algorithms. What I talk about is tabular synthetic data, because I show an example on the images, but most of data is saved in the tables. And that's where the tabular synthetic data comes in. And, but the mechanism is the same. You have the table with the features, you train the neural networks on it, and then once you learn the patterns of the data set, you have this knowledge and you can generate data from scratch. Basically, you learn the joint distribution of this data, so how each feature in the data set corresponds to each other. This is privacy-preserving data, but nowadays you can read about synthetic data everywhere, I would say, or at least in my bubble. And in this case, quite often it is meant to be what I called mock data. Because it's not data that is created based on the knowledge from your original data, from your database, but it is used by LLM. So you have some imagination, some requirements for data to create it, and you will create a short prompt, and LLM would create you data, will create a data for you. But it is rather common knowledge, it's not knowledge of your data. We at Mostly AI, we created two open source libraries. We also created Mostly Mock, but today I will skip that, and I will go directly to the synthetic data SDK, because this is the privacy-preserving data that I talk about, and that's what our main focus is. you can easily install it with pip install, and it is available on Git. I will do a short demo. Okay, connection failed. Great. Okay. So, but I was running it already, so I think it will be fine if I don't run the cells again without my connection. But I wanted to show you how easy it is basically to use synthetic data instead of the private data for the development, and to be sure that the use of data is safe, and if there is some data breach, nobody's data are harmed. So you can easily, as I said, install it with pip mostly. Then, if you have the installation done, you can easily load your data. And once you have your data, because you, as I said, you need it to extract the patterns of it, you can initialize the SDK. You can do it either in the client mode or local mode, so you don't have to send it anywhere. You can do it locally on your computer. And then you train the generator. I was running the census dataset, the US Census dataset, and on my machine it took 5 minutes. You have the progress there, so you can see the algorithm, how it behaves. And then you have the generator. So the generator is ready to be used. And when it is used, you can probe data. So you can create one sample or 100 sample, or you can generate 1 million of data. It's really up to you. You can do whatever you want. This data can be then freely shared because it doesn't contain any private information. But it is not all, right? Like, if you create a synthetic data and you want to replace it for the original data, people are often interested in what the quality of the synthetic data is, right? Like, can I really use it? So there's also the model report. So you can, that's the way how you can easily check whether synthetic data makes sense. So you look into the correlation in your original data, and you look into the correlation in the synthetic data, and you see whether the patterns are preserved. So you can have it there as well. I will not go into advanced options. I will not do anything more here. The last thing I would like to mention is that you don't have to even share the synthetic version of it, but you can zip the generator, so the neural network that contains all those patterns that was learned from the original data. You can share it with someone else, and someone else can load this generator and create the synthetic data from scratch again, which I think is quite cool. But when I was preparing that, I realized that maybe it looks a little bit old school that I will be showing you something in the Jupyter notebook in the current time of AI coding assistants. So of course, like, you can also use our coding assistants, and in the natural language says, okay, generate data for me, train the generator, generate data, get insights. So it's also possible, but I wanted to share with you in a nutshell how it works and how it can be incorporated into the development workflows. So that was a crash course, like what synthetic data is, how it protects privacy, that there is really like no one-to-one link as in the anonymized data, where you only work on those subjects, on those original subjects, and do some masking there or some trick there. You really learn the patterns from the original data and generate it completely from scratch. So there are fake data, completely new, freely available. So what's the use case, right? Like, why would you bother to do things like this? Why would you train the generator if you have original data? So that's, I think I said that during the talk already. Basically, it's data sharing. It's data sharing with subsidiaries of in different countries. It is open data from the governments to the public, to the researchers. So that's, I would say, the main use case of the data. But there are many others I'm interested in as a researcher and data scientist. And they are related to the AI training, advanced analytics, fairness, explainability. So all of these use cases are really cool, but there are like additional to what's the main one, right? The open data and data access. So I will just go through it quickly, because like if you have your data, your original data, there is a bias in this data. Since the neural network learns the patterns in the original data, it will be reflected also in the synthetic data. So if there is bias in original, it will be in the synthetic data as well. But the nice thing for the synthetic data is that since you learn those patterns, you can adjust the generator such that it will remove this bias or make the data fairer, because you have this distribution and you can tune it, right? Like on the original data, you need to do it like on the model level, but in the synthetic data you can tune it and then share the data which is fair. So anybody who uses it afterwards and train the model on it will get fair predictions, which is something I'm interested in and which is quite cool. But I unfortunately don't have time to go deeper in it. But there are so many other use cases. For example, balancing. If you have some minority group, you have fraudulent cases for the bank accounts or whatever, you can increase the probability, or you can increase the amount of data generated for this minority group, and you can balance your data. There is also explainability. If you need to explain AI models, you can use synthetic data for it. But as I said, the main use case is data access. So if you have synthetic data, you do not have to go through all these steps to get the signature to be able to use some original data. It's freely usable, so there is this big benefit of time to data. There is a possibility to share it between organizations, between subsidiaries, and as I said, there are those open data initiatives by public entities. To share some of the use cases that we did at Mostly, I used here just some of them. For example, we from the private sector, for example, we work with the German telco, and what they wanted to do is to share the knowledge about their customers to anyone in the company. So what they did, they synthesized their customer data, and they created a dashboard that was basically available on the intranet, and anyone from the intern to the CEO could use it and get the insights and the information that was needed for them. There was also a cooperation with Swiss Post. They did a project called Synthetic Switzerland. I think they describe it better on the YouTube, but basically they synthesize the data from Switzerland, and then they were able to run the marketing campaign on the synthetic data. But what is really cool is that it is also used by public entities. So, for example, there is study or the synthesization that was done in Piemonte. I don't know the pronunciation of this Italian region, but basically you have buildings there, and those buildings, they have public energy performance certificates. But this is very valuable information for the people, for the stakeholders in the energy sectors, but it is owned by the government, and it contains sensitive information. So it's not possible to freely, oh, okay, I'm out of time, freely use it. And what they did, they created synthetic buildings, and people could use it. And the same with city of Vienna. It was again the study on the ethnicities in the different regions of Vienna. So the researcher could use the synthetic data and work for it and create a study on it, because city of Vienna synthesized the data with our software and used the synthetic version of it, which was very cool. But yeah, sorry, I'm a little bit late. But that's basically what I tried to, or what I wanted to share with you. That basically synthetic data, from my point of view, is a way for working with sensitive data. And it opens the possibility for data sharing and open initiatives. I'm happy for your attention, and if you have any question, ask now, later, or on LinkedIn. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. It's some questions from the public. Yes, second. I came with a microphone. We have time only for one question. Here.
Yeah, so thank you for the talk. This is a very interesting topic. So my question is, when we use LLMs like the GPT models, there were cases where the models generated new text, or they pretended to generate new text that was like, in fact, taken word for word from the training data. So I'm wondering if you have thought about an issue like this when you were designing your solution. So if you like implemented some measures to like prevent your model for basically just, let's say, memorizing specific rows from the data, from the original data, and then outputting it.
Yeah. That's a great question, because basically what I was talking about is the quality of data, right? If you memorize your data and create like the original data and saying, oh, that's my fake data, and you memorize it, it will be of the cool quality. And that's something what you don't want to have with the privacy protecting synthetic data. So there are mechanisms that are implemented in the network. So there are things to avoid overfitting, so it doesn't train for a long time. There are, if you are familiar with the layers, there are dropout layers. There are also like mechanisms for the analyzation of data. So for example, if there are some rare categories, imagine that you have the column that says like occupation of the person. And if there is a president and you have data of the Czech Republic, and president will become in the synthetic data, you will know that it was in the training data, right? So what we do, for example, that such cases which are rare, which is not the information that is statistically relevant, but it is unique, it is removed from let's say the space from which the data can be then generated. So for example, these unique categories are grouped together, and let's say some minimum maximum is also noisy because you don't want to reveal such information. So there are like couple of mechanisms that are incorporated, and that's also like a very common that if you have the research studies on the quality of your synthetic data, you should also include some privacy metrics, because some other solutions can beat your models, but just because it memorizes, as you correctly said. So it's included there.
Okay, perfect. And we have one more question from Eventi application, and the questions from David. It's how to avoid the situations that synthetic data could match the real data if we need to use sensible data like first name, surname, or personal ID.
Can I read it?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
to be sure I understand. How do I could match the real data if we need to use sensible data like first name, surname, personal ID? Yeah, if you need to use name, surname, and and some ID, you will not use synthetic data because you will not protect privacy, right? Like you can generate the synthetic version of the names, so it will generate Kateřina, Veronika for the Czech data set. But it will not generate the data from your original data set, so you will not be able to connect it to your database, because that's the reason for the fake data, that you remove this link to the original people. So what you would do if you need some connections between tables, you will synthesize all of them together, because these open source softwares like enable you to connect the tables and generate that for you. But if you need my name to be in your data, you will not use synthetic data.
Okay, thank you for your talk. Please clap for
Thank
your
you.
talk.